Hello everybody and welcome back to another mod showcase. Today we've got kind of a mod I've already shown up before, but I don't know if there's been some like dodgy shenanigans going on behind the scenes, but the Old World mod from Warhammer 1, not the actual massive overhaul mod where it redoes the whole entire campaign. The Old World mod from Warhammer 1, where it really slimlines and cuts it down just to like the Old World factions in the Old World. I don't know if that mod's available anymore, but another mod has come up which uses the exact same mechanics and adds some more factions to it. And I thought I'd cover it because if the other one's not available anymore, then I want to obviously draw attention to this one. I even tried clicking on my mod link in that mod video's description, and it didn't work. So, again, I for one love more smaller linear campaigns that allows me to play through and obviously get the map painted at a considerable rate instead of 3 to 6 working years. So I know that I would enjoy a mod like this, so it's something I want to at least show you and make you aware of, because if you've used this other mod or if you like smaller campaigns and this mod no longer works, then this mod, which I'm covering today, will hopefully kind of fill in that space. Because as good as the Old World mod is, the one which adds all those new settlements and really reforges the Old World, as good as that is, it is massive and it adds hundreds of factions to the campaign, even though it's only just based around the Old World. It is massive. So without further ado, let's get into this and cover this mod showcase today. I will show you how to activate it in all its glory and show you everything it has to offer as well, because some things have been changed. But without further ado, if you do enjoy this video, please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. We are zooming towards 1,000 subs. We are almost there, big boys. And thank you very much for all the continued support on these mod showcases. Let's get into it. Okay, so here we go. For simplicity of this mod showcase, I have picked Cal France. Now, there is lots of different factions included in this mod showcase, but I will show you them as we go through them, just so you can kind of, sorry, legendary laws I meant to say, not factions, just so you can kind of see who's here and who you can play as if this is something you obviously want to try it yourself. Now, with the previous variation of this mod, I heard different reports of this icon not spawning in the same place for me. Specifically, someone in my Discord mentioned that this spawns somewhere else around, maybe over here or whatever. But you need to be looking for this. Now, what this does is literally just click it and it activates the Old World campaign. When you click it, the whole entire game will freeze. You won't be able to do anything. But don't worry, your game hasn't crashed. Just let it do its work, because a lot of people are dying off screen. So, with that being said, let's click it and I'll skip to afterwards. Okay, so here we go. Obviously, with Cal France being bang in the middle of this mod, where it actually changes stuff, not a lot has changed for him. But as we zoom out, and also use this other mod, which allows me to have a look at everything, a lot has changed. Basically, anything outside of the Old World has been decimated. And unfortunately, unlike the original mod, this... Well, I say unfortunately, it depends what you're here for. The original mod kind of stripped everything back, and made it so that the only people in the Old World were like Warhammer 1 races. This has been changed with this, or Warhammer 2 races. You know, basically, the Old World starting positions were here. No one else, except from her, bloody Elspeth. There we go. She was here regardless, so yeah, she's still here. So what I'll do this time around, because a lot of things changed and a lot of other species and factions have been included here instead, is I'll go around each individual area and kind of show you who's here and who's not, and then we'll get to it. We'll go through it just by doing that. As you can see, anything else outside of the Old World, or at least the surrounding areas, has been torn apart. There is... Oh no. Oh no, you poor boys. No, not Clan Mange. That sounds like I'm getting a bit too close to the sun now with that word. So if you didn't know, if you actually spawn or go outside of the area, you take ridiculous attrition. No factions actually survived on the other mod, but on this one it looks like one escaping faction. Bless him. has been left out into... Bless him. Ah. So yeah, these will just get killed by the attrition, unfortunately. But it is funny to see these boys all the way over here with a floating breach. Sorry. Sure. Oh, not nostril damnness. Oh well. Well, they're dead. So yeah, let's start off down here in the Southlands. So on the previous mod, it kind of cut off around here. In fact, I think it did cut off here. What you'll also see is some quite funnily inspired factions being thrown in here, which is fine. It's just obviously factions I didn't expect to see. And all the legendary lords which have been included as additional lords have little lore tidbits on the Steam page as well as to why they're here and what they're doing. So as we go down here, we actually have a little spin-off of Araby down here, a little bit of the desert. The majority of the Nehekaran lands has been decimated. Unfortunately, Khemri is not here. But we do have down here Snickich. So we've got Snickich down here, batting against some just normal vampire boys, obviously the dwarves. Can I assist? What's her face? Rapunzel is there. A couple of Tomb King factions. We've still got the Rakaf dynasty here and the Dune Kingdoms there. So we've got a couple of Tomb King factions. But as a grand theme of it, all in all, most of the Tomb Kings are no longer here. We do still have the Court of Sigmar just down here. Obviously not spawning in his main settlement of Sudenburg, but he's just to the north here in the Black Tower of Arkan. So we've got, you know, a nice little clusterfuck of emotions going on here. Vampires, Tomb Kings, Skaven, Dwarves, Bretonnia and Empire is going to make for a pretty naughty murder ball there. As we head into the Badlands here, we've got the Eastern colonies of the New World colonies, sorry. Yeah. New World colonies from Lustria. They're just here, chilling. We've also got Gorbad. He's thankfully been included here, which is nice to see. Gorbad is occupying Death Gorge. So no Khorne, but Gorbad is here. We've still got Malagor there in his main starting position. And some, most of the factions around here are still the normal ones, like the Orcs here, Top Knots. We've got the Clan Worm, Skaven clan here. We also have Helman Gorst here in Galbaraz, kind of, you know, doing vampire zombie things in his zombie cart. Yeah, so, you know, a good variation if you wanted a more smaller linear campaign, and it adds different playing opportunities for you to play. This isn't a Warhammer 1 focused mod, it's a Warhammer 1 map focused mod with Warhammer 1 to 3 factions included. So it's just a smaller campaign, basically. Don't envision this as being more lore friendly, because the other one was very home, close to home in regards to what it was covering. This one, not so much. This one's just kind of giving you more to play for. Wuzag obviously over here, nice to see him. Over on the east, again, Skaven are actually now a thing, obviously, because before they wasn't. So we've got Queek in the Misty Mountains. If you're playing as Skarsnik, Queek is occupying Carrick 8 Peaks and you spawn somewhere else. If you're not playing as Skarsnik occupies Carrick 8 Peaks, and then he occupies Misty Mountain. So it depends if who you're playing as there, but that's just a cool little tidbit there. Of course, Dwarves, where the normally are. You've actually got the Black Sentinels down here. Sorry, are they called the Black Sentinels? Yeah, okay, yeah. So we've got the Sentinels down here, kind of occupying this. Kind of funny that they're here. I don't think they'll probably go too far out of it. But again, it cuts off here, so that is the border of the map, Bitter Bay, and then that is it. Nice to see them though. Grimgor, of course, doing Grimgory things. Grimgor, well, I say Grimgor, all the orcs spawning here is actually pretty naughty because you can get really easy confederations between all three of them, with Gorbad just being to the south. So, yeah, pretty good to just hammer people in pretty quick, to be fair. Of course, we've got the Dwarves still in the same place. We've got Gelts here now in Akendorf, which isn't too bad either. As we move along the western coast here, we've got Golgfag, sorry. Your only legendary lord for the ogres who spawn here. Kind of funny because Scrag was here. Now Scrag's not here and Golfak is. But yeah, fuck you, Scrag. As we move further down, Vampire Coast are no longer a thing, unfortunately. Sartosa has been occupied by Tilia, just all in all. Belagar's still there, nice to see. So is Ikit in Skaven Blight. Again, with the old mod, Skaven Blight was just a ruin, so it's nice to see Ikit Claw actually being back. Over here on the west, we still have Morgur the Shadowgrave as we head into Bretonnia. We've got a mismatch of emotions again going on. Just really quickly having a look at the Wood Elves just so we can never look at them again. They're exactly the same. Anyway, moving on to Bretonnia, we've obviously got the Fey Enchantress, but quite a few... Is this Clan Mange? No, it's Clan Fester. Oh, God. I thought it was Clan Mange and I thought that their lord started miles away. Clan Fester actually, funnily enough, don't have a lord here by the looks of it, which sure I would like to think it's maybe a bit of an oversight because she doesn't look like she's got anyone to fight. Are you war? Yeah, you are. Here we've actually got Skrolk, Lord Skrolk there, which is an interesting endeavour for Lord Skrolk in Massive Oracle. Again, is it lore friendly? Probably not. In fact, all collectively no. But it again allows you to play different factions on a much more linear campaign, and it allows you to not have to spend 723 turns just going through one part of the map. So yeah, not too bad there. Again, most of the Bretonnia factions are still where they should be. Still got the Red Duke down there as we keep on pushing up. Again, Helman is still... Sorry, Kemler. Helman. Helman Gorse is the other one. Heinrich Kemler is still here with the other dwarves occupying the settlements there. So yeah, not too bad. Obviously, Leon Coeur is still there. As we move into the Empire, most of the Empire hasn't changed. It's still very much categorically the same. Most of the factions are still the same. Vlad's still there. Manfred's still there. So you've still got the Dream Team spawning right next to each other, which is terrifying. In terms of extra additions, though, we do have him. Torox is here, which is horrific. However, he just spawned at wall with the Skaven there, so that's not too bad. Draco, though, unfortunately, has been expelled from her lands. As we move further north, Brass Keep is actually owned by a Norscan settlement, so you can actually occupy Brass Keep now, which is really good, as before you couldn't. Again, we've still got Azag One Eye there. Sorry, Azag One Eye, Kazrak One Eye. God, my lord names are just all over the place. Azag One Eye, sure. Just moving back over here, we do have a little bit of a touch into the Darklands. Did I say Badlands over here? I'm thinking. I know this is the Badlands. If I said Darklands, it was a misspeaking, like I'm doing a lot in this video. So over here, we've got a little touch into the Darklands. And I say little, very, very much so. So all we've got is Tretch here, basically with his starting settlements. Crookback Mountain, Mount Silverspear, Mount Greyhag, and then it cuts off from there. This is actually the Stone Shatters tribe. This is actually the Whiffer-Cheese. This is the boy who spawns next to Xiaoming, which is kind of funny. That again, he's kind of been thrown in here as the chaff for Tretch, but sure. And then over here we do have again a little bit of the Darklands in a sense of the Blasted Way. So we've got Silver Pinnacle, Highland Rock, Blasted Expanse, and Desolation of Drakenmore there. I do feel like this is more so to get the Silver Pinnacle into it, more so than these settlements. If this was just its standalone settlement, I very much would assume these would not be included, but unfortunately to get the Silver Pinnacle in, you're going to have to include these, otherwise Silver Pinnacle is going to be pretty lackluster. Going through the mountains, everything's the exact same. Nothing has changed here. We've still got Azag there, we've still got Ungrim there, and we've still got the other ogres here and the Greenskin faction here. So nothing has changed there. As we push north, things start to get a little bit more interesting. So instead of the generic Empire Kislev faction, we now have Kislev, the Kislev faction. Excusez-moi. So yeah, Kislev is now properly represented on the map. But not only have they represented, everyone is here. So we've obviously got Katarina here, kind of doing her own thing. We've also got over here Kostalin doing his own thing. Is he still at war with them? I hate that. and I don't. This isn't a mod gripe. This is a general gripe. You don't like to. In the latest Kislev update, they made it so that you don't like to fight Kislev, being Kislev. But as Kostalin, you fight against a Kislev faction right from the get-go. So it's like, okay, sure, yeah. So yeah, all the other factions are still here. We've still got obviously the Drzina Enclave. Throt's still here in Hell Pit. Again, this was kind of cut off before, but he's now back, which is nice to see. Again, giving you flavour to play. What on earth are you? Why are you green? So Mother Estanki has moved back, which is completely fine. And we've got Clan Krizor here, which is also from near Cafe, I believe. I don't know why she's green. Okay, sure, doesn't really matter. Beastmen have just kind of been thrown here and there. Yeah, I don't know why she's green. That's so weird. That's Mother Estanki though. As we move over east, again, not all too much has changed. But I don't think Arbal's here anymore. Instead, Carrick Doom has been filled in by Clan Helheim. You'll see occasionally certain factions are inspired from their Realms of Chaos start positions. So this is where Clan Helheim spawns in their Realms of Chaos. I'll get to another one as well in a minute, which kind of resembles that as well. As we heard into the Chaos Waste up north, we also have the Wormkins, which is from Cafe as well. Just sure, like again, it doesn't bother me, but just I didn't expect to see the Wormkins here. These boys, yeah, spawn on the very edge of Cafe. Very southeast. They're like one of the most southeastern factions. So, yep, cool to see them here. But didn't expect it. Over on the east flank here, the Bleeding Spire obviously cuts off with Archaon here. He's gonna vassalize them straight after the get-go by the looks of it, which is cool. He actually might do a double whammy. He might. I don't know if that will work like that, but he might vassalize them, and then because that's probably their settlement, vassalize these as well. Interesting. As we head west, we've got a couple of Chaos Boys. We've also got Boris Ursus here, who's red. I don't. What is going on there? So okay, sure, he's red. Boris is still here, so that's fine. Keep on going. We've got Village here up against some Bretonians. So these have some very, very lost Bretonians. Not too sure what we're doing here. But here we are. Plenty of Norscan tribes. We've also got Kolek here. Still need to going up against some ogres and some more over here. Not looking too bad. Some more Norscan tribes, sorry, over here. We've also got Valkyrie here going up against some orcs, and then obviously she'll do her job at vassalizing people. And outside of that, that is pretty much it. It cuts off along here with just some more Norscan boys there. In terms of Norsca itself, which is the last place we need to look at, Norsca hasn't changed too much. Not a lot has been included. Throg's still there. Plenty of Norscan tribes. Prince Sigvald is there instead of Azazel, which, you know, weep if you love Azazel, but the Sigvald's there now. Oh, also, Grumbrundle's there instead of Markai. So, you know, swings and roundabouts. When it comes to it, the general theme of it, it looks like most demon factions are not included. And I say most as in all. Demon factions are not included. There's no Khorne. There's no Tzeentch. There's no Slaanesh. There's no last one, Nurgle. But their representatives are here. So like Village is here, Valkyrie is here, and down here in Albion, I'll get to Albion in a minute, is that boy's there as well. But yeah, going through Norsca again, not a whole lot has changed. We do have Wulfric still here, and that is pretty much all she wrote, except from Albion. So yeah, Albion, last little one. Normally this is where Belegar spawns, not Belegar, the other one, the demon. My names have just completely Be'lakor, that's it. Jesus, I just Belegar's a fucking dwarf. I'm hopeless today, I'll be honest. Be'lakor spawns here, but instead we've got Festus the Leech Lord, and again this is actually his start position as well for the Realms of Chaos DLC. So it's nice as DLC. It's not DLC, the main campaign, but that was overthrown. So it's nice to see, obviously, all these new factions included in the grand scheme of things. As you zoom out here, you can kind of see, I think I've included everyone here. There's a couple of dwarves around, or ogres around, but the grand scheme of things, I think everyone has been included. I don't think I've missed anyone out of the loop. No, I'm liking it, looking good. Yeah, just poor Clan Mange down here. They I feel so bad for him. They're the only faction which doesn't spawn in, and they have no settlements either. They have no territory. A couple of oversights I would assume would be fixed. Doesn't look like she has a starting army to fight. Maybe if you play as her she will, but right after get-go she has a pretty easy start at just attacking beyond there. Maybe that's purposely done, I'm not too sure. And then yeah, this poor Clan Mange faction, Nostradamus, unfortunately has been left to the nuclear wasteland, which is the rest of the map. So there we go. Again, a nice map cut down for yous who would like a more linear playstyle. This campaign will take a considerably shortened amount of time. Obviously the majority of the map is cut out. You've got a lot missing. The majority of the Darklands, all of Cafe, the rest of the Southlands. Lustria is not there, but Lustria has been cut down massively anyway, which is a shame. Make Lustria great again. And then we've also got all the Dark Elves and all that missing as well. But this does give you plenty of legendary lords to still play as for a much more linear and close to home campaign. This mod creator, which I believe his name is Azur, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Azur Eagle. He's done really good work. Obviously, he's taken the mod inspiration from the first boy who made the mod. Unfortunately, that mod no longer seems to be in effect. I don't think you can play it anymore. So this is now the next best thing. Outside of that, he is looking at doing a Vortex campaign without the mechanics, obviously. So that'll be a bit cooler. Obviously, having more like I don't even know. It's like the donut. The Vortex campaign was awkward. It's like the donut. Some of the Dark Elves lands, some of Lustria, like a little bit of the desert, and like a little bit. It was weird. It was a weird map. So we'll have to see what he comes up with there, because that is going to be pretty strange to make. But yeah, I'll stay tuned and keep an eye on that, and obviously bring it to your attention when he does. But with that being said, I hope you've enjoyed it. Please do check this mod out, as again, it adds a completely new playstyle for you if you like smaller linear campaigns, which I for one adore. Smaller campaigns. It allows me to obviously get things done and not take, like I say, 3 to 6 working years to actually work through the campaign. It's just a nice fresh breath of fresh air. There we go. Honestly, I feel like I've been drinking before this mod showcase, and I assure you I haven't. Maybe I should. Maybe that's the problem. I'll look into it. With that being said, thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. It's been a pleasure to have you along for this mod showcase. If you did enjoy the mod showcase, please do leave me a like, subscribe, as we are honing in on 1,000 subscribers, which is absolutely beautiful. And I will hopefully catch you in the next one. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you then. Bye.